Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to yet again another fantastic indie creator interview. It's your Cape Crusader Cody. We're keeping it geekly with our good friend, Dan Price, here to talk about Bigfoot Knows Karate, HINAGON One Shot, also chapters 1 and 2. Dan, welcome back to the stream. I can't remember the last time I had you on. It feels like probably half a year, man. How have you been? Like, what have you been up to?
Man, Cody, it's good to see you. What have I been up to? Making comics, dude. You know how we do. It has been it's been a crazy. I think it's been about 9 months to a year since we've talked on.
That beard is fantastic, by the way. I think we both are rocking beards. Like, I don't know if I remember having a beard before. Look at us. Who'd ever
strong
thought?
Beard game on both of the parties. Anyway, so yeah, man, we're it's been, we got issue 2 done. We got that fulfilled. I was really thrilled with how that came out. Been working with Adam Caswell and Casey Allen, watching them grow this amazing book, HINAGON, the one shot that we currently have on Kickstarter, and been working on chapter 3 of Bigfoot Knows Karate, entitled Hellhound on My Trail. And it is, it's from the Robert Johnson song. And if you're not familiar with Robert Johnson, he was a blues man back in the early 20th century, 1900s, which sound weird. Makes me feel old. But anyway, but yeah, it's been a great year. Plus, I've been doing a lot of traveling for work, so I got to go to Europe this year, and I got to do some pretty crazy places. So I was in Panama, Colombia. I was in London. I was in Paris. I was in a couple of places in Spain. So it's been a wild year, and been having a blast. Wife's good. How do you complain? You can't.
I've literally been in the same town since, so I'm extremely jealous of that. Were you able to drop any of your books off at any, did you visit any comic shops by any chance?
I didn't get a chance to. I was really packed in my work schedule, but I did get some books. I was in Brooklyn Comic Con this year, and made the flight from Austin to New York, and I did get some books up in the New York area, so that's pretty cool. And yeah, man, but I went to a comic store in France, and everything they had was in French, and I was like looking around, and I'm like, this is incredible, just being all. Yeah, I know it was amazing seeing just how the art form there differs from how it is here. You know what I mean? It's just such a different. It's so much more classically artistic. You know what I mean? Rather than superheroes and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? It's just a different ball game.
It really goes to show you that comics can reach just every level of niche out there. And I mean, if you think about it, there's probably a comic about it. And speaking of that, I mean, Bigfoot knowing karate, that's such a crazy concept. Let's dive in. What is Bigfoot Knows Karate for anyone who might be tuning in for the first time?
Sure. Bigfoot Knows Karate is the story of a gentle yet deadly cryptid warrior who lives in a world where anyone can be the hunter and anyone can be a thief. I think Godzilla versus Kong meets Kill Bill with a twist. We're dealing with a very introspective, very high functioning, very intelligent, very deadly Bigfoot, and who is been isolated from the world, and and is now found himself in a whole other set of rules. As we finish up issue 2, and I'm sorry, I got a thing happening here. So anyway, yeah, it's just wild. If you like action adventure, you like psychological thrillers, you like a little bit of gore, or a lot of gore, as it were, yeah, a little chock full of violence right there. Bigfoot Knows Karate is definitely a cool book to read. I mean, it's like chocolate and peanut butter smushed together, and you get yourself a Reese's peanut butter cup. That's what we've done with Bigfoot and the martial arts, as it were.
I recently was just mind blown. I think it was on my birthday. Someone got me Reese's, and they're like, you have to freeze them, and then when you peel it off, you won't get the Reese on the wrapper. And I tried it, and it worked. And I never knew.
Tell you what, I tried a Reese's recently that had it was a peanut butter cup that had potato chips inside of it. forget about it, man. That was insane. I was like, that's like the greatest thing you've ever invented, Mr. Reese. You did a fine job. So anyway.
So I, obviously had the chance to read chapter 1, chapter 2 of Bigfoot Knows Karate. And I will say that chapter 1, it felt, you had a huge battle, but it felt like it was almost like a different genre. Like the second chapter was just action packed from like page 1 to the end. But it was such a nice introduction with chapter 1, where, we kind of get to see I wouldn't say the softer side, but like the meditation side, the self-learning side of Benny. And I really appreciated just how in depth you got with like his personal narration and just kind of how he acts. I mean, like, what are we allowed to talk about what he is? Like what's going on with Benny? He like, how does he know karate?
Okay, so I won't answer that question just because we got a long way to go before we get there, before we make the reveal. I think you've noticed after the first couple of issues, we're big on breadcrumbs, and we're big on breadcrumbs, and we really like to make those reveals very important. Those little twists. We want to really make those shine. And so there's a lot of twists in the story. The first issue was very much an introduction to the character. At least I think of the first issue in 4 acts. And that first book was really to introduce the character, get you into the character, see what he's all about in terms of battle, because he went up against a Cthulhu, doing martial arts. We had Kung Fu Cthulhu versus Bigfoot and the ultimate cryptid showdown. And it was like, it was amazing to get to see this character in action and how he interacted with his foe, and the mindset and the thought process that goes into it. Yeah, he is like a soft character that, loves the bunny, and there's a bunny in the book, y'all. There's a bunny. He loves this bunny. And then he's great, and then he protects the bunny, and then and then he shifts. He goes and he hurts you. There's hunters, and he disarms the hunters after they try and hurt the rabbit. And he's wounded, and he goes and meditates. And when he meditates, he actually, it's like physical projection. He, moves to a completely different plane of existence. So you've got that happening too. It's not just Bigfoot that is a warrior, a martial arts master. There's so much more going on. And then there's Cthulhu, you know what I mean, on top of it, which is not your average Cthulhu for sure. And then in the 4th act, we really, we open it up wide, we like crack the egg, so to speak. And you meet a character that's just so devious. And so,
yeah, I loved it.
And I'll just go ahead and drop his name. His name's Grisha. And, and it's just such, part of my language, it's just a bastard of a man. He's just a shit. And you can immediately tell the hostility and the history between Bigfoot, Benny, and Grisha, and it's like, it's cool. I love it. Maybe I'm geeking out on my own stuff right now. I don't know, but it's the kind of story that I've always been really interested in. Casey Allen and myself, Casey's my co-writer. I think we've done a really fun job carving out an interesting story, unlike other things in the marketplace, because there's a lot of stuff out there. And I'm not saying that we're completely original. Everybody, is influenced by something. But we really tried to bring you a different spin on a comic book. And issue 2, he just gets thrown to the damn wolves, doesn't he?
Oh, absolutely. So real quick though, speaking of the creative team, let's go ahead and shout out, the whole entire creative team while we're at it.
Absolutely. So on the main art, it's myself and Casey Allen. Casey is my co-writer on the story and is absolutely incredible. I met Casey about 5 years ago online. We've never actually met face to face, but I would consider him one of my greatest friends. He's just absolutely incredible. And on top of that, though, we met through the Comic Jam, which is a online comics workshop. This is something you might want to check out based on what we were talking about earlier. It's an online comics workshop that you put together. You get artists and writers. They vote on a theme, and then the writer has a week to write a 1-page, no more than 6-panel comic. then
Ooh,
it's then those scripts are randomly given to artists, and they have to interpret that and do a one page, draw the one page comic. And it's such a cool experience. I did about 4 or 5 of those with the Comic Jam, and that's how I met Casey. And Casey is such an incredible writer, and so he came on board with me to take on this freaking opus that I'm working on here, and he started off as my editor and then moved into co-writing position just because he was coming up with such great stuff. So with Bigfoot Knows Karate HINAGON, the book that we currently are kickstarting, Casey's taking the lead. Casey's taking the lead
that's
on the
awesome.
story. Yeah,
How does it
listen,
feel to be
he's
stepping
amazing.
back though? Is it like, I mean, with this being your baby?
Well, well, it gets, in that regard, it gets worse because I got Adam Caswell drawing it too, so no, it's amazing. It's amazing. Look, we've been really lucky,
Hmm.
people, really gotten behind this comic, and, we've received over 150 plus pieces of fan art at this point. And I'm
Wow.
so grateful for that because, and humbled by that because, for somebody to take the time out of their lives to draw a character, this obscure character in comics, and just to show the love. I mean, we were on the Indie-tober recently. We were like day 6 on Indie-tober this year, which
That's
was,
so cool.
I know, I didn't even realize it was happening, and I got tagged in something on the day of, and I'm like, holy shit, this is incredible. So I mean, I'm blown away. So, with that being said, I mean, I'll just keep shouting out the team though. So, with the fan art, that's how we met Adam Caswell, who's doing the artwork on HINAGON. He came to us through an amazing piece of fan art, which we ended up purchasing the piece and putting it on the cover of the deluxe edition, the number one that you were showing me a moment ago. And the piece just blew our minds. Like,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah,
there's
it's like
little brain
gorgeous.
bits on the wall, if you can see. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Yeah, it's
And
gorgeous.
it's gorgeous. I have the original hanging up in my office. It's just beautiful. And then he did such a great job with that. And so then he came on to do issue two's deluxe edition cover, the wraparound, and which was absolutely beautiful. Benny versus Asterion the Minotaur. Just a great, beautiful piece. And so when it came time, when Casey had written this script, I mean, I helped, but like, let's just diminish that a little bit because, like, I mean, I'm so proud of Casey for what he's come up with. You know what I mean? He's just done such a great job. So when it came time to do this story, the plan was never for me to draw it. The plan was always to bring in another artist because we wanted to. This is like tales of Bigfoot or the untold stories of Bigfoot or whatever you want to think of it. You know what I mean? It's that kind of book where we're seeing a slice of time of this character. Whereas in the main book, it takes place in the modern day. In HINAGON, we're shooting backwards to feudal Japan. So
That's so
it
cool.
needed to. Thank you. It needed to have a different look. It needed to be something different because we're telling a different story and also, in a different time. So it, and to be honest with you, I mean, Adam's so damn good that, I can't even hold a candle to what he does. He's incredible. He's, uh, he's a traditional artist, black and white with washes and, and tones and that sort of thing. Beautiful work. I'm digital, full color. My style is a lot more cartoony, I think,
I
and,
think it's gorgeous, though. I think you're selling
oh, well,
yourself a little
thank
bit
you.
short, man. Like you were mentioning earlier, how it's hard not to geek out about this, and it really shows in the script and within the interiors. Like you could tell you have such a passion for this, and it definitely shows.
Oh, good. So you never see it. You can't tell those days where I'm like, oh my God, can I just get this page done? You know what I mean? Uh, but yeah, no, it's this. It needed to be different. It needed
Hmm.
to be something. It needed to be something special. And if this campaign goes well and the reception to this is really good, and I have a feeling it will be, um, I think that, we'll see more of these, side stories where we can have different artists telling different stories about this character, that supports what we're doing in the main arc. And I think that's a lot of fun because there's such a history for this character that we're going to be, disclosing to y'all over time. I mean, we're already going back how many hundreds of years, in this one. How much further back can we go? How much more modern can we get? We're not going in the future. I can promise you that right now. It's just not happening. Well, maybe not. At least he's not going
A
to space, I can
cyborg,
tell you that much.
cyborg
Yeah,
Bigfoot, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm curious though, with Casey being co-writer and you said co-artist, if I'm not mistaken, like how does
No.
or
Casey's
just
co-writer.
co-writer?
Co-writer. I do artwork.
Okay.
I do the main arc. I do pencils, inks, colors, and letters. And then Adam's, taking the art chores on this one. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're fine. How does that process work for you two? Like, do you have like an initial like plot that you want the beats hit, and then Casey kind of helps you like fill in the in betweens, or like what does that look like for you two?
So we had I had a like basically a Bible for the book that was like notes here and like dialogue moments there and plot points and and I just kind of dropped it on his lap and said, all right, let's figure this out. And what we have is a synopsis that will take us through. Well, we know several a couple of arcs out, but we're working on a synopsis of 5 issues right now, and that's all written out. Okay, this is what needs to happen here, and here. And so then, what Casey does is he takes those synopses that I've written, and we talk out the situation. He'll framework the story, and put it in his way, and then I'll come in and we'll work out scenes together, and then he'll kind of tighten the script up, and then inevitably when I go to letter, I'm editing dialogue as I'm going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Can't help myself. Sorry. And that's really for not for space, but for brevity. You know what I mean? Because what you don't want to have is the 35 word bubble. You know what I mean? It needs to be shrunken down. Get that. My rule is no more than 25 words in a bubble, and if I can really help it, I'd like it to keep it to 15.
Mm-hmm.
Just to help the story flow and not to get too verbose. Frankly, you don't need to be too verbose in a book about a Bigfoot that doesn't really speak anyway. So it's like, or does he? So anyway, yeah. So the process is a Google Doc. It's a Google Doc, and I write in blue, he writes in red, and whatever we like, we finalize in black. And then we just pass that back and forth. It's a lot of phone conversations. It's a lot of 7 a.m. Saturday morning meetings on Zoom or Google Meet or whatever we're using these days. Because it's time that our families are all still asleep, so we can get up really and we can talk it out. So it's a lot of communication. We don't really work over email. We talk over the phone and we work over the Google Doc and and that sort of thing. So it's different than a lot of artist writer combos who don't even talk to each other and just work over email and or a DM and that sort of thing. And frankly, it just makes it a lot of fun because inevitably we stop talking comics and we're talking about what our kids are up to, and we have to remind ourselves, oh yeah, let's get back to the book. You know what I mean? So it's cool.
So I mean, with chapter 1, chapter 2, we get a good look at who Benny is. What he's capable of. With this one shot, what is a HINAGON? Are we able to kind of maybe dive into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So every culture, not every culture, most cultures seem to have a Bigfoot, okay, or a Sasquatch, or a Yeti, or a Alabama White Fang, or a, what do they call it, the Florida swamp thing? I can't remember what it's called. But there are all these creatures running around the world, right? And in Japan, it's the HINAGON. And so that is literally what a HINAGON is. It's their version of the Bigfoot. What we're doing is we're supposing, what if it isn't all these different creatures? What if it's just one guy?
Ooh.
What if it's just one guy who's walked through time and, and has had this long past? I mean, if we're going to in Feudal Japan, where else are we going to go? and we've already established the ability to move through planes of existence, so there's a lot of things we can really do with this character. I
Mhm.
mean, we've opened it up to, I think we've just opened it far more wider than just some Bigfoot doing martial arts. Well, you know what I mean? I think that this is a very, when it's a very round character. There's a lot of facets to the character, and yeah, being able to play with all these little toys, that the character's able to, do and be, man, it's a lot of fun.
And there you have like so many different cryptids you can choose from. I was going to say earlier, I gush backstage, but I saved some live for the interview. The story and the way you layer stories within it was remarkable. We were talking about how I started learning how to do scripts, and like just the way, like in the beginning, it's like it's such a awesome pivot. Like you get this nice like meditation, and then a huge fight, and then it's like, is this going to be about a Bigfoot knowing karate? And then it's like, boom, deeper plot. And it was like just such the perfect setup. And then issue 2, you really open up a whole lot of room to play, like you were mentioning. And there's like just so many different ways you could take it. I really like the one shot exploring more of who he is. I mean, are we going to see, how many chapters are you planning? Like, do you have that number established yet?
Yeah, so, well, the first arc is going to be 5 chapters for sure. And when I say first arc, it was just supposed to be story. You know what I mean? And then Casey pulled a fast one on me and said, how about we put a little, epilogue on the end of that chapter 5? You know what I mean? And I kind of overdid his accent a bit, but, it's cool. But yeah, how about we put a little epilogue on the back of it? So then he brings to me this whole next arc, and he's like, we gotta do this. And I'm like, all right. So and it's pretty brilliant actually, what he's got planned for what he has planned for his, plot for the next arc, which will be really cool because, it's like that's, the first arc was something that, I came up with what the overall was gonna be. And Casey's now going, what about this? And it's so in line with what we're doing. And then, which we'll probably have another artist take that arc on. I keep saying that, and then maybe who knows, maybe I'll do it. But no, because I got another thing I want to do. Never mind. We're gonna get another artist to do that book, and then I've got a one shot that I want to do. That I have a long form one shot that I want to do. So we've got like 3 arcs, 3 major stories figured out. Where's the ending? I mean, the ending was supposed to be 5, but we wrote the ending in 5 to be in a way that we can continue on anyway. I mean, so yeah, we don't know where the ending is yet. I mean, I know where the end game. I guess I know where the end game is, but it's like at the same time, there's so many places we can go to in between.
That is awesome. So I think right now, let's go ahead, pull up the Kickstarter and go through some of these rewards. We also have a chance to look at the interiors. For anyone that's been watching so far, I stole the is it GIF or GIF? I know it's like there's like an ongoing war. GIF, I would say, but it's just been flashing on the GIF, yeah, GIF. It's just been flashing. So post production, we're gonna fix that up. So that's not a problem. But let's go ahead and switch to the campaign right now.
Yeah, it is nice. It is nice. That was one of the reasons we came up with side stories too, is to keep content coming out. Let me have a little bit of a breather so I could work. I'm a slow drawer, man, drawer artist, whatever. So it gives me a little bit more time to work on the next book and, take care of some other things that I need to do in between issues. Basically, it was like, it's nice. I needed it.
But I will say, your interiors, I mean, for the eagle eye reader, you're going to see a lot of things tucked in, a lot of little things here and there. So, I mean, I once again, I have to compliment like just your ability, as an artist. I think it's phenomenal, man.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
So we are looking at Bigfoot Knows Karate, HINAGON one shot in chapters 1 and 2. Currently at $3,996 of a $2,400 goal. So congratulations on funding and project we love.
Thank you.
Is this the first project we love you've gotten, or?
Second, actually.
Second, let's go, man.
I'm proud to brag too. No, it's really cool. I mean, we got it on our first. Hold on, my earbuds are doing something weird. There we go. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Yeah. StreamYard started singing this. Speakers are on. No, 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 no. You know the test thing. I don't know why it's going to do that.
We could edit that part out. That's the beautiful part about post production.
Post production. Yeah, I know. And we are $4 away from receiving this school, actually. So that's really cool. So yeah.
We have Lupin's over on YouTube dropping some devil horns in chat. By the way, everyone that is watching, right here is a link to the Kickstarter. Be sure to check it out with us. And if you're unable to back, sharing it on Facebook and Twitter is 100% free. Word of mouth costs you nothing, and it's phenomenal. There's gonna be someone who loves this. I mean, absolutely. Just the way the action in the story is built and layered, it's phenomenal. Was it hard to juggle doing that at all? I mean, like, just how I wouldn't say it's like super complex, but how layered it is with all the action. Like, it just, whew, man, I love it.
Seinfeld fan, okay, and there's a lot of Seinfeld mentality going on in this book. Not the story, not the comedy, none of that, but the braiding of the story. You know what I mean? And Lost is another show that I really can appreciate the writing on, just having so many threads out there, and how they answered questions in such a way that, but I answered questions but threw out so many more at the same time. I thought that was great. But Seinfeld, you want to get in and out of your scene as quick as possible, get the beat there, and go on to the next thing. And that's what we really try and do in the main arc. This is a different book though with HINAGON. HINAGON is it's Bigfoot versus a Mizuki, a water dragon. And and he's got a mission that he's on, and then this huge battle. It's almost like Monster of the Week type stuff. But if you've never read the book before, it's a great place to jump in because it's a one-shot comic. But if you are a reader of the book already, we got a couple surprises for you that I think you're gonna dig. And I'll tell you what, Cody, if you scroll back up for just a second to that splash page. If you notice on his belt, this one? Nope, the third one, that's it right there. You notice on his belt, the one with the lamp.
We might have a little bit of a latency between us.
Oh, okay. Well, there is a bunny on his belt. If you notice, there's a.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love how you guys are maintaining that bunny throughout the different chapters and stories. It's awesome. What's the significance of the bunny for anyone who might be curious?
I'd love to tell you. I would love to tell you, but if I do, it's gonna spoil the surprise. Nobody wants spoilers. I'm telling you. It's a cool. The bunny was really. It started off when I was doing proof of concept stuff to show Casey. Because the first 8 pages of the first issue were like a proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to show Casey what it was going to look like and what it was going to sound like and the vibe and all that stuff that we were looking for. And Bunny was actually going to be a throwaway at first. Like when I was first writing the script, and the bunny was going to die. The bunny was going to die by Benny's sword. And I was like, and I wrote it, and I was like, this is not the character I want him to be, and because this is, he's such a good guy. Why would we start off in such a negative light? And so we pulled the old switcheroo there, and he was not going after the bunny, but he was defending the bunny. And that bunny was very lucky because it could have just been a 2-page bloody mess, and it would have, you know what I mean? And we wouldn't have had all of this that we're doing with it now. The bunny's like, if a Bigfoot could have like not a spirit animal or anything like that, but like have a connection with another creature, this is his special, almost not relationship, but I don't know. There's just something there between the two.
Yeah, it's like polar opposite almost, right? You have this big, muscular like beast, and then a cute, adorable little bunny, and it's like you should be ripping this thing apart, not loving it. So,
well, you know what it reminds me of? Sometimes it reminds me of is like Lone Wolf and Cub,
mm-hmm.
Which it's not like Lone Wolf and Cub or The Mandalorian, because I think The Mandalorian was very much, the first two seasons were very Lone Wolf and Cub. Uh, with the the in the show, yeah. I just don't think it's that, but at the same time, there's little aspects of that that I often think about when I see, in like the first page of chapter two, where he's, in this hellscape and he's holding this bunny and he's a bloody mess,
Hmm.
got a sword, and I'm like, it's just that particular shot just does give me that Lone Wolf and Cub vibe. So anyway.
So what's the script process look like for you two with, a different artist this time around? I mean, did you give Adam a little bit of room to play with his style? I mean, like right here, I love the paneling and then the big splash, like right in the middle, and then leading to this, and then even this, like how the panels almost look like they're stacked on top of each other. I mean, this is awesome.
It's, we really, okay, so here's something about Adam. This is of its very first interiors he's ever done. Okay. Yeah, no shit, man. This is the first interiors he's ever done. And it's stunning. Where I tend to like, make my panel borders all scratchy and, very organic. I think Adam's just kind of thrown the the book out the rules out the window in terms of paneling completely. The panels are part of the art. I mean, there's an action sequence a little further down where it's like the panels are all the water movements and stuff like that. And right there, yeah. And it's I mean, it's so, and they're almost McFarlane-esque in the line work. When I'm looking at the page, that's the vibe I get from it. So he's just throwing the rules out the window, man. And so we're giving him a lot of room to play. There's some coaching and stuff along the way. He and I talk out stuff, but really we're just, we want to see Adam be Adam. That's what caught our attention in the first place, was just Adam being Adam. And so to be able to give him the opportunity to do interiors on a book, and to
this is crazy.
It's crazy. And crazy. And so he's just killing it, man. And he's just making Casey's script sing. And I just love it. Casey wrote such a great story here. And Adam's just, giving it the wings, to put it out there into the cosmos. And I mean, and I got to help. I got to, I'm working on, as an editor on the book along with Chuck Pino, and and I'll letter it. But my big contribution was the ending. Really, I mean, that was my, other than that, it was just like, all right, you boys go have fun. I'll be over here working on this, and they've just blown it out of the water.
Yeah, these are some gorgeous interior. I would have never guessed this was his first book.
I know.
This is wild. Even like right here. Yeah.
That top panel. Yeah. Oh my God. Just some of that, those clouds in the background and that. And Casey, look on that second panel, Casey really wanted that kind of shot, that jumping and mid-motion shot. And Adam just killed it. I mean, that's so cool. It's so cool.
And to give you guys an idea of what chapter 1 looks like and chapter 2. So, just out of curiosity, what was the significance of keeping it black and white? Is that just like due to Adam's style, or was there any special meaning behind it as well?
No, it's really due to Adam's style. We thought it would, the black and white would enhance the story we're telling, since it is taking place in the back in the day. But but no, we really wanted to showcase Adam's artwork, and we thought that was the best way to do it. Is, again, let Adam be Adam. And I've talked to some colorists about and had some comps done and that sort of thing on his work. No disrespect to the colorists that we've worked on with that, but man, he did such a good job. Now, Luis Thomas, who was Draw Erase Repeat on Instagram, did the colors for us on the cover of HINAGON. And man, I mean, like, Luis nailed it. I mean, the blue cover with the water monsters all around him, it's just so good. So, but yeah, we wanted to let the interior shine in black and white.
You know, it kind of reminded me of the old Japanese samurai films that were always black and white. And I really,
type thing.
yeah. And right here's the
Yeah.
adorable little bunny shining.
Yeah.
And since we're here, I mean, such an interesting, like I said, it's such a like almost like a whiplash with how hard it pivots here. And you see him all bound and he's getting worked on. I mean, is this like, is Benny like a soldier of fortune, or is that kind of spoiler territory as well?
Yeah, I'll digress on. Yeah, I'll pass on that question.
Yeah. I mean, like he
Yeah,
just,
but
it's
go
just
ahead,
like
sorry.
it looks like he just is going through some hell.
You know, in the first issue, you know, it was one of those things. It's like he's this character completely isolated from the world, right? And what's worse, you know, in the second one, he's in this pit. What's worse, to be completely unknown to the entire world, or to be absolutely surrounded by enemies and just hell on earth? That's what we're dealing with here in issue 2.
So, what are some of the influences you guys all drew from when, you know, creating this? Like, is there any like particular movies or books or anything that kind of maybe served as inspiration?
I mean, you know, I always say Godzilla versus Kong meets Kill Bill with a twist. All right, but you know, I mean, you know, I mentioned Lost already, and I've mentioned, you know, things of that ilk, but I think it's more mythology that we've really grabbed onto. You know, being able to pull from a bit over here and a little bit over there. You know, whether we're using you know, a minotaur, you know, or we're using a chupacabra, or creating our own kaiju. You know, I'm trying to think about just like an absolute influence, but there's not like one, you know, one or two things that really were like, oh yeah, that's, you know, I wanted to draw from this or draw from that. Um, I think that, yeah, I mean, like it's just a combination of things. It's that quick in and out of a Seinfeld episode. It's the, you know, the mythology of, you know, the Greek mythology from the Minotaur. It's the, I don't know. I can't even answer your question properly,
You're
Cody, to
fine.
be
You're
perfectly
fine.
honest with you.
We are
Yeah.
just awestruck by this page. This is such a gorgeous page. I think what we're going to do right now is leave it up and go through the rewards. Let's start checking them out. And once again, guys, we're going to be dropping that link in chat. Check it out with us. And you know the drill. If you can't back, just simply share it. We are looking at the digital edition for $4, 24 pages. Phenomenal price. We have Lupin saying, I love the black and white. Yeah, I think the black and white is gorgeous. This is it. Yes. We have the physical at $8. What an awesome price on that as well. The digital catch-up for $12, and that's going to include Bigfoot Knows Karate Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 with the one-shot. You can get the deluxe edition at $15. So what's going to be included within this?
Sure. So the deluxe edition was something we started with issue 1, continued with issue 2, and it was a big hit. Like I said, we received so many amazing pieces of fan art. So one of the aspects of it is we include a fan art gallery in the back of the book, and you know, it's just some amazing pieces we did. We do about 8 to 10 in an issue in the back of the book, and then on, you know, so this issue, because we were doing specifically black and white, we actually did a draw this in your style contest for the first time, and it was a black and white contest, and we were doing 5 spots in the back of the book. And then we received like 24, 25 entries into the thing. And we couldn't pick just 5, so we extended it to 10. So there's going to be 10 pieces of amazing artwork by some amazing artists. I'm going to do a sketch or 2 in the back of this one as well, just because I can.
Yes.
And, you know, you know, but I mean, I just want to have fun with everybody too, honestly. And then, so we're going to have the art gallery. And then the other thing that's special about the deluxe edition is, I don't know if you remember DVDs when they had the director's commentary track on there, but the deluxe editions there's a QR code in there that takes you to our director's commentary track, where it takes you to a YouTube video that's a roundtable discussion video with all of us talking about the comic at length.
That's
And
awesome.
myself, Casey, we've had Kat, the High Heel Gamer, host for us before. Adam will be on this one. We've had other artists and writers and stuff just come in and chit chat with us. So yeah, I mean, we really try and do something a little bit more unique in regards to, uh, just I always like the extras on on DVDs. I always thought that was really cool, where you can go see deleted scenes and you go see the commentary and
Hmm.
things like that. So we're able to do that with the deluxe edition with that director's commentary.
And then we have a sketch cover set at 15. Awesome idea
Yeah,
here as well.
yeah, blank covers, but you can take those and go put them out there in the universe, get some new draw, you know, Deadpool or whatever on them. Go have fun.
Hey, maybe find Dan at a con and pay him to do a sketch cover.
Yeah, I need to remember to bring a pencil next time. I always forget to bring that.
Then we have the foil edition coming in at 25. Always love the foil. We have the physical catch-up, so you get chapter 1, 2, and then the one-shot at 27. All the HINAGON covers at 50, so get that nice foil in the other two as well. And then the retailer pack. So all you retailers out there, you can get 15 copies of chapter 1, 2, and HINAGON.
Yeah, and then you also get a
Wow.
chase cover. You get the foil. You get the foil cover, and there is a chase. So
Wow.
yeah, so $75 for retailers only. I will ask for proof after I do before we do fulfillment. But yes, for retailers out there, we would love for you to carry the book, and so this is a great way to do that. So
And then we have the sketch. So take back what I said. You don't even need to find Dan at a con. You can get a cover
yeah,
commission for $100 right here, drawn by Adam. So awesome. And
yeah,
his
which
unique.
is amazing. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And then the lesser known comic starter pack. So you can get this whole slew of comics right here for $165. All of the Bigfoot Knows Karate, the deluxe edition, the gold foil, the regular cut, and then chapter 1, 2, and then all these other awesome titles as well. And then the championship pack too. So what's in this? $450. This looks like one hell of a heavy hitter.
Yes, I wish I was at home. I could show it to you, but if you scroll down, if you scroll down on the main story, there's all the tiers are on there too, and I can show you a photo of what the actual. There you go. What the actual championship, the champion pack is. There you go.
That is so badass.
There you go. So the Bigfoot Knows Karate Fiend Club World Championship. We are, you too can be a Fiend Club champion. So what this pack is, you'll get the belt, and this isn't a plastic belt. Okay, it's like 7 pounds of metal, 7 pounds of metal, and it's got side plates on there that say Bigfoot Knows Karate, and you'll get your own custom replica belt of, because I have one at home. I take it with me to conventions.
That's
It's a lot
awesome.
of fun, and I'll sign the back of the belt for you. Send you all those comics that are listed there. Probably throw you a lot more extras in it because you dropped $450, and there's 2 left. We limited it to 3, but we have 2 left.
That's awesome.
So yeah, so definitely check that out if you don't feel like $4 seems how about I just spend $450? You know what I mean? No, I mean if you're a wrestling fan or a Bigfoot Knows Karate fan or a UFC fan or something, this belt's for you.
Hell yeah. And then, put it on, get 2 cold ones, smash them together, Stone Cold Steve Austin it.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's the bottom line. Let's go ahead, switch back over to our main scene. And Dan, you know the drill. I mean, for anyone who might be on the fence about backing, what would you like to say to them to kind of help push them over that hump?
Listen, if you like comics that are out of the ordinary, if you're really into indie comics and something unusual and different, this is a good book for you because look, I don't want to. This is nothing that you would find in a Marvel or DC, and I'm not slagging them in any way, shape, or form. They've been doing their thing for a lot of years. They seem to know what they're doing, and they're doing it well. But this is something alternative to that. This is this is, like I said, but it's action adventure, it's psychological thriller. We've got a great storyline going on, and you know what? If the title Bigfoot Knows Karate doesn't grab you, I don't know what will. But if you are interested in checking it out and doing and checking out the book, hey, come on, come on, come on,
Come on,
yeah.
what are you waiting
That's
for?
that's my big plea. What are you waiting for?
$4
No,
is
but we would love it if you
easy.
checked out the book. Man, it's $4. $4, and you can get us to our, you can get us to where you spend $4 on a digital copy right now. All our physical backers are going to get a stretch goal.
Let's
So,
go.
it's actually worth it. Yeah. So we already did the first stretch goal, which was 2 trading card set to go along with the other trading card sets that we've done on the other books. And then if we get to this next set, this next stretch goal we're in sticker territory at that point.
Okay.
So, and you can't go wrong with Bigfoot Knows Karate stickers. They look great.
They are badass. They are badass. I got from chapter 1, chapter 2. Yeah, they are truly badass. Yeah. So Dan, outside of creating,
cool.
What are you consuming? Video games, TV shows, movies, books, other comics. What's kind of like on your list?
So, there is, in terms of TV shows, I will say that I've been enjoying The Bear. That's a really great show. I've been watching. I just finished The After Party. If you've not seen that, absolutely incredible. That show blew my mind, and it was funny, and it was brilliant, and it was well done. Drinking, I'm watching that. The Harrison Ford and Jason, what's his name from How I Met Your Mother? Jason Segel show.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely brilliant. What else? Ted Lasso. I finished Ted Lasso recently. That was absolutely brilliant too. So those are shows I'm watching. Movies. I just rewatched Carlito's Way recently. If nobody's ever seen that movie, go watch Carlito's Way. It's incredible. Brian De Palma classic. And let's see what else. In terms of comics, I recently read Dead and Still Dying by my publisher, Lesser Known Comics, and that was absolutely outstanding. What else? Also, if you recently new to Lesser Known Comics, Jerry Cooley. I've been a big fan of his work since we met probably about 3 years ago. We met over Instagram, and I started reading his book End of Days, which is absolutely super cool. It's like a Victorian age. It's like Jack the Ripper meets Supernatural. Not Victorian age, wrong word. Yeah, but Jack the Ripper meets Supernatural. Absolutely super cool. And so that's a good one. Nuke Rooster by Jevin Loop. If you never heard of it, go check out Nuke Rooster. It's absolutely hilarious. So those are some good ones. Yeah, that's what I've been consuming lately. Those are some good examples of what I've been consuming. Yeah.
And last but not least, before we wrap things up, for anyone out there who might be struggling with adding maybe depth or just more dimension to their story, it feels a little flat.
Sure.
As someone who has a story that's really layered, what would be your best piece of advice for them?
Say, artists draw or paint or whatever they do. Writers read. You know what I mean? Like, you need to study artists. You need to be studying other artists, and writers need to be studying other writers. Think about how you write your dialogue. And it doesn't sound natural. I think that's a big thing, is like natural sounding dialogue. Because it can enhance the story so much more. If we're just trying to push exposition out, that makes for a really boring read. So that's another thing. So show not tell. You really want to show your reader what you're trying to do, not just drop it all in word bubbles and move on. You know what I'm saying? That can make for an uncomfortable reading experience, just or kind of a dry reading experience. Maybe that's a better way to put it. But yeah, I mean, look at the shows. Look at the shows that you enjoy. Look at the movies you enjoy. Look at the comic books you enjoy, and ask yourself, what do they have in common? You know what I mean? Because the good stuff always has something in common, and usually that's just going to be strong plot, strong dialogue, strong art. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm making any sense, but I'm
No,
trying
that was
really
good.
hard.
That was some good shit, Dan. Oh my God, I love it. Thank you, because that's gonna help me too. That was solid advice.
Yeah.
Everyone watching,
Hey,
you benefited from that. Hit this link up. $4. Get the digital. Share it on social media.
yeah.
Time for us to wrap things up. I hope you all have a lovely Tuesday, but most importantly, keep it geekly.